That's a better fish. See that? You see that one with his back out? Oh, look at that. Spit up the squid.
Every striped bass season you break down into the spring run, the fall run, the summer doldrums, but within each of those seasons, you have little bites that occur, and each one has its own unique kind of flavor to it. You've got the mackerel bite in the Cape Cod Canal, the bunker bite off New Jersey and Long Island, and one of our favorites, which happens during the spring run, right here around Cape Cod and southern New England, is the squid bite. And that's when you have squid of all sizes, from the full-size adults, maybe 10 to 12 inches long, to really tiny ones, just a couple inches long, and they move into the rips off the south side of Cape Cod all the way out to Monomoy and Chatham. You have some of that happening in Rhode Island, off Connecticut, a little bit off the east end of Long Island. But what's fun about that is you get a chance to see how striped bass earned what's my favorite nickname for them, Squid Hounds. Striped bass absolutely love eating squid. I think part of the reason is that the squid, at least the most common squid in our waters, the longfin squid, is not very good at getting away from predators. They arrive in big numbers in the springtime. They move into the rips to spawn, to lay their eggs, and after they lay their eggs, they die. Not to be a downer, you're going to find the best action during the squid bite when the tide is really moving. That's around the full and new moons when the tide's going to be a little bit stronger, but anytime, no matter what day, no matter what the moon phase, as long as that water's moving, that's when the striped bass are going to be there in the rips feeding. A rip is an area where the water passes over a shallower spot, which creates turbulence on the surface and a feeding opportunity for striped bass. The bite lasts a little bit longer at the Monomoy rips, where you have the cold water from the Atlantic off the backside of Cape Cod washing over those rips every 6 hours. But when they're in the rips, and the resulting offspring of that spawning creates great fishing as striped bass move into those rips and bluefish to feed on these squid. The fishing is very visual. A lot of times you'll see the bass pushing the squid out of the water in the face of a rip. You'll have squid running through. You'll see the ink in the water as the bass pursue them. And it is a great opportunity to catch some fish on light tackle. But whenever you have striped bass keying in on one particular type of forage, they can be pretty picky, and you've got to match the hatch to go with it. With these squid, one of the best ways to match the hatch is with white, soft plastics. Now, stripers will hit topwaters when they're on the squid bite, but a lot of times if they're not showing on the surface, they're still in the rips, they're still feeding, but they are looking for something that's a much closer match. On this particular trip, we were fishing the Monomoy rips in early June. There were a ton of squid in there, and a fresh wave of migratory striped bass had just showed up. They weren't very big, ranging from 20 to about 30 inches, but they were hungry and a blast on the light tackle that we had with us that day. To match the squid, we were using the Z-Man Jerk ShadZ. We rigged it a number of different ways, primarily fishing it on jig heads and weighted swim bait hooks, allowing it to swing with the current into the rip to give it the most natural presentation. One of the added benefits of using Z-Man, in addition to it being a very supple bait with a lot of action to it, is that it's made of the ElaZtech material, which is incredibly durable and more resistant to biting fish like bluefish, which we ran into that day as well. With Z-Mans, the Jerk ShadZ come in 4, 5, and 7-inch offerings, and then you have the HeroZ, which is a larger stick bait available in 9 inches. And those baits in colors of white pearl, like this one right here, pinks for Z-Man, they've got coconut ice, fried bologna. These guys must have a lot of fun naming their lures. And then you also want some amber to reddish type colors. Z-Man, they make a motor oil, a new penny. They have a wide range of colors, but look for those pinks, those ambers, those reds, and of course, the old standby pearl white. That was just one day of what was a pretty good squid bite this year off the south side of Cape Cod. I can't wait for next year's squid run, and when we go there, we're going to be packing a lot of soft plastics, especially these Z-Mans.